Since I was a little girl, I helped people with ADHD, with special needs. I remember the time from the kindergarten when I played with my dolls. It was always some way of special needs. Later in my school times, I was around those children having special needs. And I did some way connect with them. And it was first when I was 38 years old, I really realized why. I have ADHD myself. And all the time as school teacher, my children, they were almost like I was. So we connected very good. During the last 6 years, I have been coach and I have developed a method that I want to tell you about today, because I think it's very important to know a method that you can really go in and do if you want to help people with ADHD. So this method here, it is very good, and I have made the last years, I have made 300K in US dollars. So I just want to explain what it is that is so good with that method. And I'm not going to judge anything about other people's method, but I can see what really works here in this method. So first of all, I have made a focus model. Focus, it's an acronym. It stands for family dynamics, observations, calibrations, useful systems, and sustainable practice. So when we talk about this, I really want to explain, to fold out, to dig a little deeper in those useful systems, because I know that many people, and here I really mean many people, everyone I have been speaking with about ADHD, everyone says, no matter if he or she is a professional or he or she is the one who have ADHD, everyone says that the one thing you have to do first of all, it is make a lot of structures, a lot of systems, a lot of planning. And if that helped people, if that was the solution, then people were not overwhelmed. People were not feeling ashamed and guilty. They were not feeling stressed if that helped them. They were not feeling exhausted. They were not having a lot of rumination of all kinds of thoughts. So if we step a little back and we really want to help people, then the thing about the system, it's very good. Honestly, because people with ADHD, they have a lot of bad executive functions, really bad. That's a part of the symptoms. But we cannot only help the symptoms, we have to dig deeper, very much deeper. So as useful systems are step number 4 in the 5-step stairs here, we should begin another step, some steps before. So what I have seen during the last many years, but the last 6 years I've been self-employed and I have developed my own method, and it's the same method every time, every single time. If it is I'm out in the family, working with the family in their place, or if they come to me in the therapy, if I work with them online, no matter what, it's the same method everywhere. First of all, we have to have a very good view on the family dynamics, because the role, the themes, the patterns in the family, how do they involve each other? How do they interact with each other? That's very important to have a view on that. If not, we can't give them useful systems. The next step we have to go into, we have to make some observations with them and explain the observations, because what I see, how I see people react, how I see they do, there is always a reason behind that. Always a reason why. And if I don't know that why, there is always a positive intention behind even a negative reaction or action. So what is that connection here? So we have to do that observation and explain that for the family or for the one we have in our therapy, in our coaching. And I really often hear that people have been to a lot of coaches, they have been to a lot of therapies, psychologists, psychiatrists, everywhere, and everyone are just giving a schedule, a planner, but they are not diving into why this here is not function for you. The third step is always, and it's really important, it's coming before step number 4, which is useful system. If we're taking down to the calibration, that's the C in focus. Calibration. What does calibration means? It means here that everyone having some traumas, and people do have traumas no matter what. You can't live a life without having anything in your life that is difficult for you. So here it's very important to have a little hard work with your inner mind and how you are, who you are, and what is going in, what's going on deep in you, inside you. When we help people with those traumas, we can help them. We can help them out, and we can help them using those useful systems. But if we're not helping them out with their traumas, the feelings inside themselves, then useful systems will never work for them. So one of my clients, for a long time ago, she should do her budget, and this here is a true story, but it could have been hundreds of them. Should do her budget, and what happened was that we were talking about what she should do, how she should open, how she should sort the things out. And when she came to me next time, she told me that she has not done anything of those things she should. And what was on here, that it was that she was not able to open her budget because she has a lot of fear. She has a lot of anxiety. And even though you know what you should do with your budget, if you have a lot of anxiety for the numbers, for the mathematics, for the money, if you have a lot of anxiety for those things, it will always be almost impossible to open your budget, to open your bank account, and to have a look on what you need to have a look at. So here what we did was an exercise helping her out of her anxiety, and we made the feeling of anxiety, made the feeling of fear very, very small, and we externalized it from her body and for her mind. And since that day, I'm still in contact with her sometimes. Since that day, she has a very, very good workflow with her budget. And what came here after that calibration is that when she was working with her anxiety and her fear, she realized that she has other things as well, because that we had not worked with directly. But when she came to the therapy next time, it was just like, well, I realized that before I did not give myself any kind of self-care, but now I do. So when we work with the anxiety, people fall back and begin to work with their self-care, begin to work with their self-love, with their self-respect. And from that level, that is step number 3. From that level, they are able to receive the useful systems. From here, they can use what I have in the library. And I have a very big library. And these days I'm putting things into the library so people can really find them themselves as a membership, but that's another story. But the feeling of I can declutter my bank account, I can do some decluttering in my living room, taking care of myself, I can do things which is healthy for me because of I have been calibrated things. That's amazing. And that method here, that's what I'm calling the Kasterberg method. And I have made 300k within that method, and it's the same 5 steps. And the 5th steps, I haven't told you about that yet, but the 5th step, it is the sustainable practitioner. And for me, sustainable practitioner, it's many things. It's many kind of sustainable practitioner. First of all, sustainable practitioner is you have to be a sustainable practitioner if you have ADHD. That's very important, that you should be a sustainable practitioner in your own life. If you are going to be 100 years old, it's important for you that you can take responsibility for your own life. You can take the self-leadership. You can pay yourself with respect. And so that's first of all for you being to live a life sustainable. The next one who can be the sustainable practitioner, it's if you're a parent to a child, or many as I am. I have 4 children, all of them grown up, but all of them have ADHD. So being a parent with children with ADHD, I can tell you all about that. I have tried things in the family life that no one have told me about could happen when I was young and pregnant and were planning my family life. I have never ever been thinking about things like what I have seen, what I have heard, what I have been through. It could happen. So being a sustainable practitioner as a parent, that's important as well, because sometimes it feels like you are dying. Sometimes it feels like you have to survive this war. You are the only one to fight it. Well, maybe you have a co-parent, but it still feels like you are against you two are against the rest of the world. So being a sustainable practitioner is also being very sustainable, have a sustainable life as parent in this ADHD world, which can be very stressful. But sustainable practitioner here is also that if you are like I am, and I am one who have a very big vision and mission, and that's about helping other people. Well, I'm not very political. I'm not very much into football gaming, football teaching. Well, I was scout when I was young, but that's many years ago. And I was scout teacher for the children, but that's many years ago. So I'm not using that in my spare time, helping people with anything. I do my yoga classes, but I'm a student in the yoga classes, and not me teaching. So my very, very big mission is helping other people. And as I told you, I was teacher for 20 years in special needs, for special needs students. And I have made a lot of, for my children and their classmates, I have made a lot of self-studying around the dining table and helping those students growing a level up, and they have all of them that have made very, very good grades on the high school, gymnasium, university, very good. And I am master in education and teaching, and people asked me so many times why I was going to do that education. It was a level up from my teacher's education, and I was just like, I really want to help people with ADHD. I really want, but something I don't know, I don't understand at the level I am right now. But I'm sure I will understand when I have finished my master's degrees. And that's why, that's what I did, because that is what I have been using for developing my Castberg method. So I was right. But people ask me, and I have just felt it so many times, that I can only help one child or one family at a time. But if I can help grown-ups, adults, teachers, on workplaces, everywhere, education places, if I can help one or two or three, all of them can go out helping 25. So that's a huge mission, and a very deep felt that I really want to help people with ADHD and special needs, because I know what it is to have ADHD. I know myself what it is to have anxiety, because I have tried it. I know what it is to be worried about your children, because I have been there. And I know from my clients the chaotic world from their lives. And if I can help you to help other children and help you to help other families, I think that will be, honestly, well, I'm going to have goosebumps saying that. It's my vision, it's my mission, and it comes from a deep felt place in my heart. So, yeah, and I think it's very important here to also think about that we need to talk about the value of our help to people. I told today one of my colleagues about a situation where we talked about the price of what we're pricing our sessions, and she's very low in her price, and I think she felt a little ashamed of her price, and I think she felt that it was expensive. And I was just, well, as a colleague, I just want to say to you, you should 3 times or 4 or 5 times your price for the session. And she was just, I can't. And then I told her about what I have discovered from my own private life about having anxiety, about very specific situations where I have felt I don't dare anything like that. I was very, very scared about the situations, and it was during many, many, many years. And from my education as an NLP practitioner, I was taught how to deal with that anxiety. Not to deal with it as, okay, go on, you have to go through this here, but it was healed. I was through a transformation within 20 minutes. It was very fast, and since that day I was just like, I can do whatever I want to right now in my life. I don't have to in that area of my life, that specific area in my life, because the anxiety was disappeared, and it was only within 20 minutes. And I don't know, do you have any idea about the value of that? And I said to my colleague here that I would have been very happy to pay 1,000 USD for that session if I had known before that, before I went into the session, that it could help me so much. The value. So I think it's very important to speak about the value of what you're bringing to people, what you're bringing to people's life. One of my, the client I told you about before, about her bank account, and one of my young clients, he has very difficulty to open his email box from the official part of Denmark. It was really like, and we made a session, and it was just like, okay, Camilla, I'm ready now, going home, opening this email box, this special email box, and I'm ready to take responsibility for those things. He has been here since that day, and he said to me, I was in last minute because I have some bills I did not pay, but because of I could open that email box, that special email box, I found those letters. I found there I have something that I need to pay, and I was able to. And if he has not paid that, he would have had a lot of trouble financially. So the session was very valued to him. So as a practitioner, I think it's very important to know about the value of the work we do with our clients and the value of what we are doing with our children, our partner. And I'm not going to say that if you're a parent or a partner to one with ADHD, ADHD, I'm not going to say to you that you should be the therapist. But I really think that if you can help them, and if you can stay in your own space, in your own self-care, treat yourself with respect and find the value of your job as a parent, as a mom or dad, as a colleague to your co-parent, because you have a partnership. If you can stay strong together, well, I'm not sure that I can value that. Maybe you can, but I can't, not in money. But I know the value in money for my client, that when he opened his mailbox, so I think I saved his bottom. Yeah. So I think it's very important to know these things, and I think during my last 6 years, I have been teaching hundreds of times in the same systems, the same structures, the same planners, the same everything. But first, when people were ready, it's really important that people are ready. My young client, he came here. I just need some daily life strategies, and I was just like, well, I think you know how to plan. I think you know how to open your phone and put it into your calendar. And I think you know how to put an alarm in your phone, and don't you? And of course he does. So I just said, so do you think I should give you a PDF file, or a schedule, a new plan, a new system? Maybe with a lot of emojis and smileys and things like that. Would that help you out for this situation? No, I won't. Okay. So what is it that what kind of feelings do you have about that special mailbox? And he was just explaining me, okay, so if we work with those feelings, and then I can give you the structures, the system, the strategies, would it be okay if we do it in that order? And he was just like, yes, it feels good. So I have hundreds of PDF files and Google Docs and everything. I'm doing a library for those things, and if you are a practitioner, I would love to share that library with you, so you're not going to develop it yourself. I have been developing and developing and developing, and the thing is that I love to, and I always, many of my things, they come and they have been taught the same things hundreds of times, because it's the same problem. All people with ADHD, they have almost 99% of their problems. Our problems is actually the same. And the 1% that separates it has something to do with the traumas people have had. And some traumas are sexual abuse, some are violence, some are accidents, different. So, but we can still do the calibration here, and that is lovable. I really love to help people out. So, I don't know. Do you know what it could feel for you if you could help another human to relieve his or her traumas or bad behavior? How would that feel for you? Well, honestly, I I am sometimes crying in the clinic. not not very much, but a little. Because when people come to me and they tell me I am so angry with everything, anger is a very big problem for people having ADHD. And there is a lot of reason because of and things that make that anger. It doesn't matter right now. But when we have been working with their anger and then they come 2 weeks, 3 weeks after a session and explain for me what have changed the last period, I'm just like, how did that happen? And today I have a client and he told me that he was just like, since I were here 3 weeks ago, I have not had any attack of angriness, not at all. And he was just like, how did that happen? And I was just like, well, you worked with me, and he was just like, well, I used to have an anger attack every day. And sometimes I'm violent to my children and to my wife. It has not happened at all in those 3 weeks. Those spots, I feel tears in my eyes because I'm so happy, I'm so proud of what those people are doing. And I know what it means to the family, to their family, that these people are not angry, that they are not yelling, that they are not violent. So I was just more. So I really love that. Well, now I've been talking about what I really think is important here for helping people with ADHD and their families. I will another day, not today, but another day, I will tell you about how to have a look into their family dynamics, what you have to have a look on if you want to change both your own family or you want to change other people's family. But I also think that I would like to invite you to have a look on my homepage if you think that it could be interesting for you to be a part of the Castberg practitioner, the Castberg method practitioners. And if you want that, I'm right now opening a spot for few people. So if you want to follow, have a look on my homepage, and there is a readiness check. And I always, no, not always, but I will sorry, I will right now, here in a few weeks, I will invite you to a speed date with me. And if you take the readiness check, that's just some few questions. And if you take the readiness check and the result of that readiness check, it gives you a clear answer that you are ready, and it will be comfortable for you to be a part of the Castberg method, then I will send you an invitation. I will invite you to have a speed date with me. And what is a speed date? Well, no, we're not going to fall in love with each other, I think. but I think maybe you have some questions for me, and maybe I would like to tell you a lot more about the Kastberg method. I would like to explain for you what it is to be a part of the Kastberg method, and how I will educate you to use the method, how I will give you certification to use my my models, to use my systems, and to be an affiliate partner for you together with me. And I always think it's very important when you start maybe your first time as self-employed, or it's also important to know how to go out and help the right people, those people who really need, and how can you calibrate with them that they want to be your customer. So things like that I will explain for you in that speed dating. So if you think that it could be interesting for you, go in on the website and read about the Kastberg method practitioner. Take the readiness check, and if it calibrates you to be ready, you will automatically have an invitation. Not in the first email, but some of the next emails, you will have an invitation to have a speed date with me, so that we can speak together, so that we can feel each other. If you think this method is something that you're for me, it's very important while we are helping people who are feeling very bad in the moment when we come into their life. So it's very important for me that we are behaving ethically. And if I'm going to put my name on what you are going out doing, then it's very important for me that I feel that you have the same or a better ethic level than I have. So I'm not going to judge anyone, but I'm going to calibrate where are we, because it's my name, it's my brand. Yeah, so that's very important. And I think it's very important also to know that I'm working all over the world, and that's the reason why I'm doing this here in English and not in Danish. I am Danish, and I'm working all over the world. I'm working on Zoom online, and my library is online. Everything I got is online, but I'm very soon going to New Zealand, having some workshops down there. And well, if you can go to New Zealand having workshops, I could go to Sweden, or I could go wherever it should be. So, and I think the community around us practitioners is very important, that you can, as a parent practitioner, or a practitioner, self-employed practitioner. I think it's very important that we have a space where we can communicate with people having the same interest. How do I solve this problem for other people as like-minded colleagues? So, well, if you think this could be interesting for you, go out, check it out, and let me know. Well, when you take the readiness check, I will know when you send it, because my mailbox will give me a heads up. Someone has taken the check, and I don't know what you are answering. but I knew if you're coming through to my speed dating, I know you're calibrated into that you are ready. So I would love to see you. So let me see you in my mailbox very soon. And right now I'm opening few spots to that practitioner room. So I can't say you right now how many people I'm opening. It depends how many people I open, because it's also about putting the team together. So maybe it's few, maybe it's many, I don't know. It really depends on who you are and from where you are, because I really, yeah, it should feel good for me. It should feel good for the community. And no, it's not for everyone. It's for some special people. So that's enough for today. I'll see you soon. Have a nice day.